And welcome to The Price of Fame,
where we talk about fashion, art, music,
and entertainment.
I'm Savage Rogers.
I'm Mike Vegas.
And this is The Fame.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
A lot of hip-hop things.
I feel some type of way, man.
About what?
I just...
The other hip-hop list?
Yeah, man. Yeah, the hip-hop list, man.
Okay.
It's crazy, man. I'm like, I see people, they're top 10. You have a right to express who you feel is better than this person or better than that person. And those are opinions, and then there's facts, right?
Right.
And I like to deal with facts because facts, you can't deny facts. And in some situations where they say the top 10 hip-hop music executives. You know what I'm saying? They just threw people out there. Like,
what about is the age group too, though? You think it's because of the age group?
I mean, that could have
because I'm thinking.
Yeah, but do your history.
Yeah. I'm thinking about like right now. If I was to think about if I would just think the last 10 years, not our list, we got a comprehensive list.
Okay.
But if I would just think the last 10 years.
Okay.
If I'm saying I'm like a new hip hop fan, whatever.
Or hip hop executive or hip hop artist?
Executive.
Okay, hip hop
executive. Right. So in the last 10 years, I'm like, who could I think of if I didn't know the history of hip hop? Can you name any new executives?
Last 10 years?
Yeah, like even 15, like new maybe TDE, like Punch from TDE.
Yeah.
Because they, you know what I mean? Even though they've been around a little bit with Punch from TDE.
Coach K, you know?
Yeah, QC, what is QC?
Yeah,
QC.
Control.
Yeah. I really can't think of nobody else. I'm trying to think.
But that's my point. And then when you name executives, how do you come up with the criteria they have to meet?
Right.
To say, well, they're the top hip hop executives.
Right. And then sometimes people confuse producers with executives.
No.
And producers are not well, some producers are executives. But for the most part, producers aren't executives. Like for instance, Diddy's was a producer he was an executive.
You know what, let me correct that. They said hip hop CEOs.
Okay. So they said CEOs.
CEOs.
They said CEOs. Okay.
Yeah, because executives, you could be in the publishing department.
Right, you could be anywhere. An executive, you could be anybody as long as you're right.
CEOs, hip hop CEOs. So that right there, you know, come on now.
Still, what we were just talking about, still for the past few years, like
it hasn't been. Come on,
not really.
It's very, especially now with the internet.
Right.
It's hard to be an executive with the internet because everybody wants to say, well, I know better because I watched a couple of sound bites on YouTube and I know how to publish my music.
Maybe Lucian Grange?
What?
Lucian, yeah.
You know how long they been out?
It's been a long time, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, man.
It's CEO, right? CEO, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even put him in that category.
Right.
They said L.A. Reid was a hip hop CEO. Get out of here. Whoever made that?
L.A. Reid?
L.A. Reid is R&B to the core.
Yeah.
He signed one or two hip hop artists, and that was that.
Yeah, because didn't he sign Goody Mob? Like the whole, like the Dungeon Family.
Outkast.
Yeah, like the Dungeon Family was like L.A. Reid.
A couple of other people. He's not a hip hop CEO.
Right.
He's not a hip. He came to Def Jam and tried to make Def Jam into an R&B label.
Right.
Like, come on. He's not. That's why he had to get Jay-Z.
Yeah, not to get to the list, but what do you think about Jermaine Dupri then? Like So Def.
Of course, he's in the.
Because he had the Brat. Of course. He had Bow Wow. He had a few.
He's definitely in the roster.
He's a CEO.
Yeah. He's in the top 10. Yeah. But first of all, okay, so let's get started.
Okay.
Before we get started, I just want to say, the person I'm about to name, there's no category for him.
Okay.
So he's not even in the top 10.
So he have his own Mount Rushmore.
Because he's the Alpha and the Omega.
So he would have his own Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, the Rushmore.
He'd be by himself.
He's like up here, and then it's like everybody else is
He'd be in the middle.
Yes.
Like this, and then everyone else be below.
Then the pyramid starts.
Going across. All right.
Russell Simmons. I saw the
agree
list
with
that
that
Russell
for sure.
Simmons was number 8. How could Russell Simmons be number 8 when Russell Simmons is the dude who made hip hop a business?
Right.
Before hip hop had a name, Russell Simmons made rap a business.
In the NYU dorm room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody in the hip hop industry who wanted to be a CEO of any form followed his blueprint.
Yeah, because before Def Jam, he started with Rush Management.
Yes.
He had,
Come on, Rush Management with Run-D.M.C.
Yeah, Rush Management was signed to... Because Run-D.M.C. was never signed to Def Jam.
They weren't signed to
Run-D.M.C. was never on Def Jam.
LL Cool J was their first artist.
Right, he was the first
and the BC Boys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He had a few other artists.
Right.
So he started everything, and then they put him as number 8. And I don't know if they was putting it in
right, and it might not have been in order.
Chronological order, but
they might have just been saying the top 10, and they put them in any order in there.
Yeah, but I
you want them to get mentioned first.
No, yeah, and then they didn't even have Uncle Luke on the list.
Well, a lot of people, I noticed that they don't see Uncle Luke as a CEO.
What?
Yeah, they don't. They don't see him as
Uncle Luke is he's probably one of the best. Uncle Luke is the... if it wasn't for Uncle Luke, a lot of the bass music, a lot of the music, period, wouldn't even be where it is
and that was his label, right? Slip and Slide was Uncle Luke, right? Yeah.
What? Uncle Luke was the man.
Yeah.
Uncle Luke is the man. Dudes better bow down to that dude, man.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, they, I know, a lot of people both, New York, Florida, they be hating, but, on each other. That's how it goes. Like, down south, up north, always hate on each other. But I'm not gonna lie, I remember the people in New York used to have bass tapes. Like they would play like the bass tapes, like the Miami bass.
Yeah, it's playing their speaks.
Right, and it sounds like the Miami bass tape. So you know what I mean. So people in New York, like you know what I mean. Even whatever they think, like we went down there, it was like these Bamas or whatever. Everybody wasn't like that.
No,
it was people that roll their windows down, the Audis, the old Mercedes, the BMWs, and the Acuras, and the bass tape be going.
Oh, no question.
Yeah, so Uncle Luke definitely was, you know what I mean?
No question.
2 Live Crew. He set that whole thing, he set Miami up. It would be no Trinas, no Trick Daddies, no Rick Rosses, no, you know what I mean? No Kodak Blacks. It would be none of them.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for Uncle Luke. Right. You're correct.
They didn't even have him in there. Then they had Ruff Ryders. I don't even know if they had Ruff Ryders on the list.
No, like Dean, Waz, and Dean.
Come on, D, Y. I'm like, why wouldn't you have any of them on there? Well, come on. That's crazy. Why you're not gonna have Ruff Ryders?
It was a big movement.
I consider when you're talking about top CEOs, these dudes, they moved the meter on hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Just DMX alone.
Yeah, DMX alone
shifted the culture.
Yeah, it shifted the culture.
Yeah.
Ruff Ryders, to this day, people have the logo on their motorcycle.
It's true.
They're wearing jackets with Ruff Ryder logo.
Right.
That logo is just like Wu-Tang logo.
Right.
Just like Kiss. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Eagles, just like any other monumental logo.
It's true.
Ruff Ryders.
You know the Ruff Ryders.
So how are you not going to name them?
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And then going back to Russell Simmons, Russell and Rick Rubin started Def Jam.
Right.
Right? They started Def Jam in the dorm. So when some people, I'm not going to name names, but some people say culture vultures, it's crazy because, of course, a black man is behind hip-hop, right?
Right.
But there is also a white guy who's behind hip-hop.
Right.
Who's making a lot of the beats, right?
It's true. So it was Rick Rubin. Right.
And then all of a sudden, Leo Combs came along.
Right. He came on sooner or later.
He came on. He was a third person to come along and help Def Jam build this foundation, right?
Right.
So when some people say, culture vultures or they trying to steal our culture. Hip hop is multicultural.
Yeah, I think they just like those people that you named or that person that you named.
No. I didn't name a name.
Okay, I know. I didn't. I'm not calling the name here. But that people or that person that always says that, I think that they're basically saying like the only thing that he brung to hip hop is like the business. He's like he's not the culture. He's just the money behind it.
But what is the culture? Because one of the first hip hop groups was a white group.
It's true.
One of the first hip hop groups was a white group.
Right.
I'm not talking about Heckle and Jekyll and you know what I'm saying.
Right before that. Right.
I'm talking about that was signed to a label that
was
made,
right. That was monetized.
You know what I'm saying? That really made some money.
Right.
In this game was a white group, and they're still making money to this day.
Right.
So,
because you know who I paid?
Who?
Searchlight Publishing. That's what he said.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. So you can't.
That was a Nas line.
And I was talking about Beastie Boys.
Nas said that.
I was talking about Beastie Boys.
Oh, you're talking about the Beastie Boys?
Yeah, they were one of the first hip hop.
I thought you were talking about Third Base. But yeah, the Beastie Boys. They came later.
Yeah, way later. But I'm talking about the Beastie Boys. They was one of the first.
Was the Beastie Boys set up Third Base? Without the Beastie Boys, it
without the
definitely
Beastie Boys. But then without Run-D.M.C, there wouldn't be no Beastie Boys.
Right.
So you know you got to really do your history and figure out what you're saying before you say it. And they're talking about, you know, I'm like, yo, they're not really doing their history, man.
Right. And then I understand what you're saying too. Like the Beastie Boys was like really like they wasn't like from Maine. You know what I mean? So it's not like they grew up in it. Mm-hmm. They grew up in hip hop. They didn't, you know. Yeah. They didn't come from Ohio and then was like, oh, we want to do hip hop in New York back in the 80s. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, come on, man. People, they say certain things about these CEOs and they slide people in just because they're fans. And I'm like, just because you're a fan of somebody don't make him a great CEO.
Right.
Master P is a great CEO.
Right. No limit.
You know
About it.
Birdman is a great CEO.
Going back to Master P, though, I remember Master P was putting out like an album a week.
Yeah.
He was dropping an artist every week.
Yeah.
And he was the first one that had like those big covers with the tank coming out and the glitter on it.
Yeah, I remember those.
It looked like 3D.
He had like about four or five pages back to back
right.
in the Source magazine.
Right, because he would just, every week he would drop an artist. Boom, boom. No one else was dropping music like that, but it was because he was, the deal he had structured.
Yeah.
With Universal, I believe.
Yeah, 80-20 or something like that, right?
Whatever it was a crazy deal. And he got that because he said he went and talked to Michael Jackson's lawyer. He paid Michael Jackson's lawyer to take a meeting.
That's crazy.
I think he said he gave him like almost all the money he had to take the meeting. And he said basically Michael Jackson's lawyer told him like how to structure the deal or whatever, set it up.
That's smart.
So he didn't take the, what they say, would you take the $50,000 or the meeting with Jay-Z? He took the meeting with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Because he put it all on the line to take the meeting because he wanted that information.
No, it was $500,000.
Yeah, it was $500,000. Yeah.
I'm taking the $500,000.
You're taking the 500.
No disrespect to Jay. I'm a big fan of Jay, but
right.
I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to tell me? At the end of the day, he could talk to me all day. I have to execute.
You have to execute. But I think if you're a person that's already in position to execute, that meeting would do you a lot of good. Not you, because
you mean financially?
No, I'm saying or business-wise.
Just business-wise.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, so someone like you already knows the ins and outs of the business, right? But say I'm someone, well, I have a little bit of money. I might not have 500,000. Say I got 150,000.
Which could go just like
that. Right, it could go just like that.
That's not even radio.
It could go just like that. You need about 300,000. A lot of artists on about 300,000 to really get started. Mm-hmm. To get started, put a single out, to really get it going, you need a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
But say that I got a little bit of change, I might have like 150, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I don't have any of this knowledge. Uh-huh. And I can go talk to Jay-Z in this meeting, and Jay-Z can give me some knowledge I didn't know. Kind of like Michael Jackson's attorney gave to Master P. Then that meeting would do me more good because I'm trying to set myself up to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
So even if I don't get to that certain point in a year, I have this information it can gradually get me there that I didn't know before at all.
Yeah. But Master P already had traction. When he took that meeting.
No, he had some traction already.
He had traction already. So you know, giving him the money, he was already in the process.
Yeah, I think that someone had already offered him $1 million, and he said he was like, if they offer me $1 million, that means that I must be worth a lot more. Exactly. So I'm not taking that $1 million.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And then people will go off on you too, like, what do you mean you ain't taking it?
Do you think Cash Money took a page out of Master P's book?
You know what? I would have thought that, but I was watching this thing, and it said they both came up at like the same time.
Around the same time?
Just on opposite ends of the projects.
Okay.
Because they're both from New Orleans. They're just from different projects.
Yeah.
So they were saying like they came up at around that same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they took like a page out of each other's book. Whatever was going on in New Orleans at that time, they was ready.
Hip hop wasn't really. I mean, they had artists down there, but it wasn't.
They
really,
had artists
to this level. Nah,
not like it,
to the level where Baby surpassed, Birdman surpassed Master P.
Now,
of course,
just because he's still going, he's still
no. But I mean, no. But you got no. Period. Think about it. Birdman.
In music.
Yes, I'm talking about.
Okay, because Master P was.
Well, he's doing a little bit of
everything. He was out. Master P
I don't know
was
about the Magnatis, but
and then I ain't gonna lie. Master P taught Snoop the game. Snoop was saying he didn't even know.
No,
you know
he's
what I mean?
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Down, he's a smart guy.
Right.
But I'm saying.
But music wise, No Limit wasn't making the caliber of music that Cash Money was making.
No, well, I'm not even talking about.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about as far as what you like. It's all what you know.
No,
you know
the record sales, the everything was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
right.
Baby, Birdman, he came out with Cash Money.
Right.
Did what he had to do with Juvenile, Weezy,
Turk, BG.
Turk,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, right?
Then he signed Nicki, and he signed.
No, but then he said Young Money.
Yeah, Young
Money. Went
to
to a whole nother level.
Right, and then
he
Wayne
had Tiger. He had Tiger for a second.
Yeah.
But he had Young Money, and then Young Money took him to a whole nother level.
Right.
So I'm saying to myself, Master P had to run. Master P, had to run. No Limit had to run, but he didn't make another. He didn't transition and let the younger generation keep that the momentum going.
I think he tried to with like Little Romeo and stuff like that. I believe he tried to. It just didn't. I don't think it just caught on like that.
Yeah.
Well, like
he's doing all right, but Master P's a smart guy. He's
really smart.
He's gonna be all right,
Really smart.
He's a smart guy. So, you got to give them credit, man. And but Cash Money, whole nother level.
Yeah, it was
whole nother level.
No disrespect to Master P though. Master P
never that. Master P's.
I used to go to clubs back then. I'm not gonna lie, when that bout it to come on, I'm a No Limit soldier. He's been there going crazy. And then you know who else Master P had?
Oh.
Mystical.
Oh man.
And Mystical, shake it fast. Wash yourself.
Yeah.
He was a monster. It was like hit after hit at one point.
Mystical locked up, right?
Yeah, for the second time for the same thing.
Come on, Mystical.
We ain't gonna say what it is, but for the same thing again. First time I was like, I think they're just trying to, run game on my man Mystical.
Huh?
And the first time I was like, I think they just setting my man Mystical up. Then the second time I wrote around, I'm like, Mystical.
Woo. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. James Brown said that Mystical stole the style.
I can believe that.
Yeah, that's what James Brown said. He was like, he said, where do you think he got it from? He got it from me.
Did he steal it or did he just?
He just, made it rap.
People
borrow things.
It's a form of,
People borrow bits and pieces and make it their own.
Yeah.
I don't like when people do that, but.
I mean, he's way younger than James Brown. James Brown's old enough to be his father.
It's true.
Possibly
he might
his grandfather.
He might be his father.
You never know.
You never know. James was a bad man.
Yeah, he was. What do you think about Jermaine Dupri?
We just talked about it. Like Jermaine Dupri, he had Crisscross. Remember Crisscross?
Yeah, of course.
Put everything on backwards.
Yeah.
Crisscross make you jump. The Mac Daddy make you jump.
How many
Crisscross to make you.
How many hip hop artists did he have? He only had
Crisscross.
Yeah.
Lil Bow Wow.
And
the Brat.
And the Brat.
There's got to be more. We just don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be more.
It says Crisscross. Yeah.
I know Crisscross, the Brat, and Bow Wow. He had then he had that show where he was like bringing the talent up. I think Lotto was on that show.
Escape, but Escape is not a hip hop.
Escape is yeah.
The Brat. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But he produced for a lot of
his production is crazy.
He produced for a lot of hip-hop. But just signed to So Def.
That Usher album was insane.
Yeah.
Woo, Confessions? Wow.
Yeah.
Brian Michael Cox is a problem.
Yeah.
He should go down as one of the best producers. Period.
Yeah.
He's a
I have a
great producer.
I have a cousin who owns an orchestra. It's called like Orchestra Noir. They like he's from Philly, but they like play out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then he did some stuff with Brian Michael Cox in Atlanta, like where he was like in the, like stuff with the orchestra.
Yeah.
With my cousin's orchestra. So yeah, he's a really talented guy.
Oh, no question, man.
Yeah.
He's definitely dope, man. He's definitely dope. What about Irv Gotti, man?
I mean, I'm glad you talk about him. No. Murder Inc.
Regardless of what, Murder Inc.
No, Murder Inc.
Inc. They had that moment, man.
Yeah. One of my friends is his daughter.
They had that moment, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to get it, regardless of what and who did what and where and why. You got to give him his moment, man. I mean,
I just know, I just know you're friends with everybody. So.
Well, I mean, 50's my man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know a lot of people from Murder Inc. So, I'm like, I ain't involved with none of that. You know what I'm saying? That's a situation.
But music-wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but music-wise,
he had Ja Rule.
Irv had a moment.
Who Ja Rule is Drake. Ja Rule is Drake. Drake is Ja Rule now.
Drake is Ja Rule.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, Drake is Ja Rule.
Yo, you know what's so funny? If that situation didn't happen, Ja Rule probably would have been as big as Drake.
Yeah, and now, so even if Ja Rule wasn't still making like hit after hit at this point, right? Because, you get to a certain point, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, I'm going to lay back on making a lot of new music. You're not really going to make a lot of new music. You can do a lot of other business things, you know what I mean? You might even go get your own label, secure a few artists, whatever the case may be, work behind the scenes. But we definitely we would be talking about Ja Rule in the sense where we're like, oh, he's one of the best ever. He's a legend. Yeah. And people don't say that because that situation kind of stalled it out.
Yeah, it kind of overshadowed everything, all his accomplishments.
Yeah, I wish he would have never chased that situation, but it's kind of hard to brush it off. But
I know, man.
It's kind of hard.
Wasn't a good move.
Yeah.
Man.
See, these days it doesn't matter like that. Like people say whatever the case may be, like Pusha T bodied Drake or whatever, right? And they say, oh, Kendrick bodied Drake or Drake bodied Kendrick or because it's so many people, there's hip hop fans that have a means to communicate now.
Yeah.
And that's what it is now. So many people can communicate and comment on it. It does the artist no harm.
Yeah.
And the first time I seen that happen was Nas and Jay-Z. It really didn't both artists just kept it moving after that.
Yeah.
Like no matter who they say lost or who won, both of them were so big, they just kept it moving.
Well, they had talent.
I mean, and Ja Rule has talent.
No. Of course, I'm not saying Ja Rule didn't have talent. They had a lot of people when they have battles, they just fizzle away.
Right, they just fizzle away.
The talent really wasn't there.
Right. But what I'm saying is, back when they had their battle, it was the internet wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah.
So because the internet's not as big as it is, it was able for someone to kind of like dominate the charts and like and to kind of like dim the other person's light.
Yeah.
If not, we'll be like, this dude is a legend. You know what I mean? He would have kept going. He's making hit after hit after hit. Yeah. Him and Ashanti had a formula.
Yeah.
They just had a formula that was getting, the formula just worked.
Oh, no question. No question. I mean, they had their run. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you could really do about that.
Irv had Irv produced for a lot of people. Not only that wasn't even signed to Murder Inc. But what other rap artists did he have on Murder Inc.?
I mean, of course, a lot of people don't know him. It's Ty.
Yeah. Cadillac Ty, Black Child. Yeah, they was more like
Vinny. Vita.
Yeah.
She was dope. Yeah, he had a couple of people. But
Vita was in, a lot of people don't know, was in the movie Belly too.
Yeah, she was in Belly.
Oh, you was in Belly. Wait, forget it. You was in, no, I swear I forgot. You was in the movie Belly, and Vita was in there too. But she was playing like the little girl that was like messing with DMX, which is crazy now.
Yeah.
The day and time we're in now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm 16, you know what I mean? But she was in that movie. She wasn't Vita then though. She was, what was her name? She wasn't Vita yet. I can't remember what her name was.
Yeah, I forgot what her name was.
Yeah, but she had another name, Hot Toddy. Yeah. I think that was her name, Hot Toddy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she changed the Vita when she came to Murder Inc.
You know what's crazy? If video phones were out, if they phones, better phones were out back then.
Right.
I remember Nas, X, Jay Black.
Right.
There's a few people in the basement, in the office smoking.
Right.
Smoking up, and
you ain't never let me smoke in the office, but you let them smoke in the office.
They paid me, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I ain't
They
never
paid me a lot of money to shoot that in there. Yeah. What was I gonna do? Yeah, you paid me for the day. This is your shop.
Right.
This is your stuff for the day, baby.
You run this today.
Yeah, you got this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I wish it was video phones back then.
Yeah, imagine having like all that foot. Just in general, just walking around, you would you would be around so many people to end up being celebrities that we didn't even look at them as celebrities. We just like, oh, I know Chinese, I know him, I know his brother. I was at his house yesterday. Like, it's so many people that's like that. You know what I mean? That people would like, now people say they're legends, but we were just walking around with these people every day.
Yeah, AZ was there. Yeah, there was a lot of people in there. Yeah, but what about RZA?
RZA's definitely top 10.
No question. I think I would consider RZA top 5.
Yeah.
The only reason why I say that is Wu-Tang surpassed.
Shout out to Method Man. I'll go to the gym with Method Man.
Yeah, Wu-Tang. That's dope. Wu-Tang surpassed regions. Like they're all the way in Japan, China.
Right, people can't even understand English.
People really love Wu-Tang, man.
Right.
That logo is crazy.
Right.
And just a sound. The sound that RZA created was so original. And that's the thing about a lot of people now. There's no one, everybody has the same
it's
sound.
no one, you don't hear a record now and you'll be like, oh, this record is from this person or this record is from this camp. Like, I know they put this out. You can't tell.
A lot of people nowadays, they where that snare come from? I'm going to use that same snare in my song so it can sound like this. RZA's like, nah, I'm going to create my own snare. I'm going to create my own kicks. My hi-hats I'm going to put, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to filter my hi-hats and then add something to it to make it sound a certain way. So I can have my own sound. Wu-Tang had their own sound.
They did.
And for years, they dominated. As a group.
No, for sure. And
RZA
solo.
was the reason for that. RZA was the mastermind.
And everybody signed up. They was the first group where everybody also could sign up as a group. Yeah. And then each artist signed to another label. Yeah. To a solo deal.
And numerous people had success on solo.
On solo deals.
But for the most part, the best ones out the group, some of them were great, but they just got overshadowed by other, people in Wu-Tang. But for the most part,
and it's because of Wu-Tang that for sure.
You know what I'm saying? RZA's a genius, man. RZA's a genius, man. Can't take that away from him. And then, you know what I'm saying? People, they don't look at him like that because
they look at him like a beat maker all the time. They really don't look at him as a businessman.
He's a
they look at more like a beat maker. He did a lot more than make beats.
Yeah, he's a
matter of fact, he put that whole group together. Yeah, like he pulled everyone in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of these people didn't even know each other. Didn't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
He pulled them all in individually and formed that.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Rockefeller?
Oh,
you got to say Dame, Big, and Jay.
No, for sure. But what's crazy is we really like. I mean, people who really know hip hop knew about Biggs, but people that didn't even know that Biggs even exists.
Yeah,
because Biggs was never in the videos. He was low key. He was super low key.
Dame was the forefront of Rockefeller.
Yeah,
as far as the business side of it, it's sad that they broke up.
Right. I guess I could say this now because they broke up now. But I knew Biggs. I found out that Biggs was even a part of Rockefeller when one of my boys took me to Jersey, and it was a warehouse, and it was a warehouse full of weed, and he was like, "Yeah, my man Biggs on this." And I was like, "Oh, Biggs." It's like, Biggie passed away. What do you mean? He's like, no, Rockefeller Biggs. And I'm like, what?
Oh, so your man's a snitch?
Well, he ain't snitch. He told me.
Well, was he telling anybody anything?
I mean, he was in there. He was working in there. This is when it was illegal back then too. Now it's illegal. You know what I mean? But yeah. But it was crazy. It was like huge. Like, and you know what I mean?
Hey, man.
And then that's how I found it. I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, you see like the Biggs on like Biggs Burke on Rockefeller. This is Big Burks, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's my man Biggs. And I'm like, oh, that's what the name, you know what I mean? Then I start piecing it together, like, oh, that's him right there in the back. But you never really knew who he was. Yeah, he's like in the shadows all the time. Yeah. But no, Rockefeller was a huge, huge label. Yeah,
Rockefeller made movements, man. But
they kind of did it themselves. Like they kind of put everything together themselves, put their money together, and pushed Jay-Z.
But then they took the blueprint from Russell.
From Russ, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, has Dame ever said that though? I don't know if he. No, I'm just saying. I don't know if he's saying that's where he got the blueprint from.
Come on, man.
Because I know they went to Def Jam, right?
Yeah.
First, they got a single deal on Priority. They got a single deal from Priority Records.
Yeah.
That was the first single. And then after that, they used Def Jam for distribution.
If there's anybody who's a CEO in hip-hop in our generation will lie and say they didn't get anything from Russell Simmons, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're lying.
I mean, it was the first person they probably saw in that position.
Yes, in our generation, they're lying.
Right, it's the first person they saw in that position. I can see some younger
people who won't even know who Russell Simmons is.
Yeah.
So they probably getting their information from Baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, Drake. You know, people like that. 50 Cent.
Yeah, but Rockefeller was crazy. It was...
it was a movement.
Yeah, you had like Jay-Z. Then it just trickled down to where you had like the whole state property. Yeah. Beano Siegel, Freeway, Oskino, Sparks.
Kanye West.
Kanye. Yeah, what Emil was on it. Not saying that Emil was, but Emil was on up there.
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah, that was like the singers, right? One thing, yeah. Because I used to think they were signed to Timbaland, but Timbaland just produced their records. But they were signed to Rockefeller at one point.
They were. I mean, you can't take that away.
Memphis Bleak.
Yeah, Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak was tight.
Yeah.
Memphis Bleak was really tight. Yeah. You can't take none of that. You know, they had a run, man. They had a nice run. You know?
Jay-Z just had the biggest run. Hove.
That's a complicated situation, man.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people grow and sometimes
he's still running.
Yeah.
He's still
sometimes people
he still ain't let it go.
People outgrow people, man. I mean, I don't know the whole breakdown. You know, they know.
But but sometimes you part ways for whatever reason.
I wish they could, get it together and just
let it die forever. Like just squash it. Like we're good.
Oh, come on, you're gonna die. You're gonna go.
But I know
go to your grave still.
Biggs is still like him and Jay-Z like linked back up though, right? Like they're
cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like that right there. Would I be hurt? I probably would be hurt.
Yeah. Because sometimes
if it was somewhat, because whose fault was it?
Right.
You can't blame 100% Jay-Z. That's Jay-Z's fault. And you can't say it's 100% Dame's fault.
Right.
It's a combination of both.
But if both of us ain't too egotistical, we can get together and we probably can at least talk about it to go our separate ways. To where
we can iron out and be like, listen, man, I feel this way because of whatever.
Right.
We it's been 20 years since that happened or whatever the case. Boom. Let it go.
But we don't know what happened, so maybe it's something they don't want to.
Man, it's nothing outside of killing my kid that I can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's something outside of violence, and I doubt if there was no violence. I never heard anything, but I never heard no violence between the two.
You feel a certain kind of way.
Maybe some money. Might have been some money involved.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. But now everybody done made money since then.
Yeah, come
on. No matter what the amount of money has been, both parties have made money since then, so we can move past.
Yeah.
Even the money thing. We probably can link back up and get some more money.
Of course,
if that's the case.
Suge Knight.
Marrying Suge Knight.
Marrying Suge Knight.
Death Row Records.
Of course.
Yeah.
They had a movement.
Matter of fact, it was wasn't Harry O.
They said that.
No, right? They said
Harry O helped Suge Knight start Death Row.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that we didn't even know who Harry O was, to be honest.
I didn't know who Harry O was. I'm not from the West Coast, so I wouldn't know.
We didn't even know who Harry O was, but we knew who Suge Knight was.
Of course.
Like, right. And he
was a dominant figure in hip hop.
Right. He made that label with Dr. Dre. He brought Tupac out of jail. The label wouldn't even bail Tupac out.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a story.
Suge went and got him out.
Suge's presence is different.
Right.
I remember because that's what the people call me, Suge.
Right.
So I'm in.
That's why you don't want to be called Suge because you don't want to get. They're like, oh, that's Suge. They're like, they can be scared of it. They hear a name, they're like, oh.
So I'm in L.A.
Right.
And we shooting the Chingy video.
Okay.
Holiday Inn.
I remember that song.
Holiday Inn with Luda and Chingy, and Snoop Dogg was in it too.
Right. Snoop was on that song.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg. And we in a big hotel, some hotel in L.A., a haunted hotel. It's supposed to be the hotel's supposed to be haunted. So we running from hotel room to hotel room.
Right.
We doing a video or whatever.
Right.
And out of nowhere,
somebody said Suge Knight coming.
The damn palm tree was on fire. So we looking around like everybody's wondering like what's going on. So Shaka calls me. He said, "Yo, Suge."
Right.
No one knows but Shock, everybody that's from New York,
right?
That my name is Shock.
Right. That my but you're in LA,
so I'm in LA. Man, let me tell you, he said Suge.
And shut the video down.
The dudes that was around Snoop Dogg, their arms were the size of my head.
Right.
These dudes was diesel. It was like about 7 or 8 dudes around. They just formed they like this. We formed a little, it was a little barrier around Snoop. I was like, yo, these dudes are serious.
Right.
And then another time, I forgot where we were. We were in L.A. and we was at a party, and Suge came in the party and just started smoking
his cigar in the middle of the floor.
And I saw a couple of executives just scurry, like little slide away and get out of Dodge.
Nobody didn't want to be around Suge.
Nobody didn't want to be around him. Then I went in restaurants. I seen Jermaine Dupri. They didn't want to be around Suge. People just didn't want to be around that guy.
I mean, they know Suge had he had the.
He's like the
Pyrus with him or whatever. So
his presence was crazy.
Yeah,
he's a cool dude though.
Everybody said I never met Suge, but everybody says that. Everybody's like he was actually a cool dude.
I never had a problem with him. I mean, he's a cool guy.
Everybody says he's a cool guy. I never met him.
I mean, you know what I think? Dudes that be faking the funk,
right?
That be trying to take advantage of artists. When they run into a real dude, they get nervous.
Right.
They get
somebody that don't play games.
I'm not playing no games. You know what I'm about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll slap you right now.
I mean,
whatever. Literally, like,
right.
Literally, like, so, I'm not saying he's a boogeyman, but when he came around, he was like the boogeyman.
He was like the boogeyman for a while.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But overall, him and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg.
They did their thing.
Brought Tupac out of jail. Had the dog pound.
Was that the best move for Tupac?
I mean,
Tupac was he was a different kind of dude.
You know, it's crazy. I think it made Tupac larger than life when Suge Knight got him out. To sign with Death Row, elevated him to larger than life.
Yeah.
So it was a good move business wise in the beginning when you think about it, but then once he put up all this money. Yeah. And to get out of my contract, I have to pay back all of this money before. It might not have been such a good move.
Yeah.
Because you locked in. They said Tupac was sleeping in the studio. Like, I don't know how true it was. They said he wasn't leaving the studio because he was like, I need to crank these albums out because I want to pay Suge back.
I can believe that.
Yeah. They saying he wanted to pay him back. Whether it is people saying he wanted to get out of the deal. He might have wanted to get out of the deal, but he might have been like, let me get my own label and assign it to his label. You just never know, like, what business move he's thinking about. It might not have just been like, I need to get away from Suge, so let me crank out these albums. We don't know. But I feel like it was a good move for Tupac at the time. I just think that he got caught up in all the gangster stuff. He got caught up in all the gangbangers that was around. I
think that's a downfall of most of our executives.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our executives,
they still had the streets with them.
Yeah, their mentality is they don't know how to leave it alone.
Right.
I keep telling people, once you add 2 or 3 zeros to whatever you're making right now, you could make $16,000 a year.
Right.
You add 3 zeros to that, that's $16 million.
You know who was
come on.
You know who they was interviewing recently, and he always caught like heat for it, but Chief Keef. Because he moved out of Chicago.
Smart guy.
Right after he made some hits.
Smart guy.
He moved to L.A. So everybody in Chicago was like...
I like Chief Keef.
And now they saying they went and did the recap, and almost everybody Chief Keef came up with that stayed in Chicago is either dead or in jail. Almost every single person. So people like he made it out because he actually left. You know what I mean? you got to leave the streets alone. You know what I mean? You can. When keeping it real goes wrong.
Well, that's a lot of us.
Yeah.
That's a lot of us, man. You're making too much money to be doing ignorant things, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, and you know what I noticed? When you're young, in your 20s and early 30s, you're not used to money. You're getting a tremendous amount of money. You could kind of lose, you know, focus, and you know, or grasp of what reality is.
Right.
You start creating your own reality, and that's what gets you in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I don't know. I mean, but at the end of the day, Suge had a movement. Even
100%.
Even aside from what's going on and everything with his situation right now,
right?
Puff had a movement too.
No, for sure. Bad Boy. No, Bad Boy was
Bad
crazy.
Boy had a movement too. I mean,
he had my favorite artist of all time on Bad Boy, which is Biggie.
Of
like
course.
Biggie's on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my favorite artist ever. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like he had Biggie on the label. He didn't have Lil' Kim signed. Everybody thought he had Lil' Kim.
Nah, he had
Lil' Kim was never signed to him. She was signed to Atlantic and she was signed to Un. So she was signed to Biggie and Un. She was never signed to Bad Boy, even though
Bad Boy.
Nope, even though Diddy was in the first song. The fake got no time for fake.
I didn't know that.
Just sip these Chris. Yeah, she was never signed to Bad Boy ever.
Okay.
So yeah, so he had Biggie. Faith was like
Faith Evans.
But, I mean, she was a singer, but still, it was like she was more like
Carl Thomas.
Yeah.
Mace.
Right. Mace too. Mace was huge. People don't realize how big Mace was when he was rapping.
Oh, no question.
Like Mace was huge. Like it was, you know, the Harlem World shiny suits. Yeah. Even the Locks. When the Locks was signed to him, like I know they wanted to get off.
He wasn't signed. Yeah, the Locks. Yeah,
the Locks. Yeah. I know the Locks wanted to get off the label, which they did. They went to Ruff Ryder.
Yeah.
But when they were signed to him, everyone looked at them as huge. Like he made everyone seem larger than life. He did.
Yeah.
And he made hits. Like whether they say he had the hitman or whatever producers was behind him, he's an exec.
Yeah.
And he made sure he had #1 records.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, that's true.
112.
Oh yeah, 112. Yeah.
Yeah, he had
Total.
Yeah. Danny the Kane. Day 26.
See, I don't even look.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even them, like this was newer times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Dirty Money. He had, I'm saying, these groups sold records though. These groups moved. These groups, I'm saying, even later on down the line, they sold records. Yeah, they sold records.
I gotta look at the stats on them.
Yeah, these groups sold records.
I don't really pay attention to them. Like that.
These groups sold records even down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even him, he was running it for a while, you know.
Yeah, he had it for decades, couple of decades, right?
That's why I wish we would have got to see like that, the Bad Boy versus Death Row. Like versus, like going hit for hit, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy.
But honestly though, Death Row had more hits.
Maybe good Dr. Dre's.
You go Dr.
I don't know.
If you go back to back, as far as label wise,
yeah, label wise,
Death Row had more hits.
I don't know.
Label wise,
I don't know. Bad Boy had a hit. It feel like every week it was a hit. It was a hit coming.
If you outside of Biggie and Mace.
Total.
They had a couple of songs.
I mean, they had hits though. 112
songs,
mega hits.
Okay.
112.
Okay.
Who else?
No, they had no mega songs.
Who?
112? They had no mega songs.
They definitely went platinum.
Mega song? Nah.
They had the Peaches and Cream, Cupid.
That's not mega.
They definitely went platinum. Even back then.
Snoop. Dr. Dre.
Yeah. Tupac.
Corrupt. And what's the name?
Daz.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Rage.
Yeah. If you just going label for label, because Diddy had his hand in a lot of stuff, so you could go and stuff he produced. Producer wise,
he had hits on everybody.
Right. So you're right, but just signed to Bad Boy. If it's just signed Death Row and Bad Boy, and you only can do the artist.
Dr. Dre and Snoop had way more. Yeah. More hits.
They did.
Way more, and you forget about D.O.C. the Diggy Doctor.
He only had one album, so, right?
And it was a hit.
It was in his his voice
lyrics. Yeah. So and they had a few people, man.
Yeah.
They had a movement, man. They had a
They did.
movement for a while too.
But Diddy too. I mean, people talk about like his bad business practices because they're saying the type of deals he signed people to. But
you know what's crazy about that? See, I don't know the whole. I can't.
right. I never seen one of his contracts, how it breaks
so
down.
I don't know how it breaks down. But you gotta sometimes you gotta take accountability for what you do. He put a contract in front of you. You're hungry. You think he's your friend, but he's not your friend.
Right. He's an exec. He owns a record label.
He owns a label. He's no different than any other label. So because he's black and because you think he's your friend and he took you on a jet over here, which you're going to pay for out your budget once you sign to him.
Right.
He's not paying for that. You think he's your friend. He's not your friend. And you choose to let that overshadow the business and you sign a deal with him. And then you try to live a lifestyle he's living.
Right.
And then you ask for upfront money. And then once you ask for that upfront money, you thinking, oh, well, I'm going to get some upfront money. But when you record sales come, you're not getting any money.
Right.
Or, better yet, you get upfront money. You might get a $500,000 deal and get $100,000 up, at the beginning, or $75 at the beginning, $75 when you finish your album. But then you run through that, and then you want more money. But you like, there's no more money.
Right.
But then you say, yo, how can I get more money? I need more money. I got to pay this. I got to pay that. Blah, blah, blah. He dipping. You sell him a piece of your publishing. As a businessman.
Well, I don't know if he ever gave you to publishing.
I'm not saying this is what happened in general. Right. As a businessman, if somebody offers you some publishing, I'm telling you there's no money.
Right.
I'm telling you got 75, you took the other 75, and you spent it. The only way you can get money is through your publishing.
Right.
I can either sell it to a publishing company,
it's true.
or I can sell a piece to him.
Right.
He chose to get it. He chose to get it, first. So now when your record sales start happening, you're getting this much and he's getting this much.
Right.
Now, out of nowhere, he jerked you. But you weren't thinking about that when you were asking for the money.
Right, you were just trying to get the money. You just wanted $1 million.
Yeah.
However you could get.
You were making no money before. Now you got $75,000, which is a nice amount of money to live off while you're doing your album. If you don't splurge and do crazy things,
right,
you can live off $75,000 for 6 months. It don't even take that long to do an album. You know what I'm saying? So you can live off of that. You know what I'm saying? If you're smart. And then you just, when you get your back end, boom. Your other part, you be all right. But people be, doing too much.
Well, I don't know. Too many people say he had bad business practice.
Well, I'm not saying he did or didn't.
Yeah.
He probably did.
You're saying like the normal artists, like that's how it normally
a lot of people,
works out when they say I got jerked.
Their side.
Right.
And, he's a crafty business guy. I mean,
right. The point of owning a label is to make money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just like 360 deals. I have no issues with 360 deals.
Right.
I have no issues with them.
Right. I mean, me either, because I'm putting up, especially, I'm putting up all the money.
You put up
like,
$5
no one knows who you
to
are.
blow somebody up, and then they say, okay, bye-bye.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to sign with another label.
Right.
We're going to buy my contract out. Or it's not that simple. I put up $5 million.
So now everyone knows who you are.
You don't sell a record.
No, but even if you do sell a record, no one knew you before I put up the 500,000, right? So now
$5 million.
$5 million is crazy, but yeah. So I put up the $5 million, right? No one even knew who you were.
Because you're saying 500,000. That's what they gave them,
right?
What about the marketing?
Right. All together, right?
Or everything they put in up,
right? So I put up the $5 million. So no one knew Mr. Juke before I put up the $5 million. So now I put up the $5 million. Mr. Juke name goes through the roof, right? So now they want you to do a movie. They want you to do a commercial. They want you to model their clothing. They want you to do all these things. It's because of my $5 million.
Yeah, that you even got out there.
They even know who you are. Yeah. So I do want a piece of that.
Yeah.
That's my investment. I want a piece of my investment back.
Yeah.
So so you do a movie.
I took a chance on you.
You do a movie, I want a piece of that back.
Of course. And rightfully so. You should get some.
You should.
No contract is forever anyway. It's not perpetuity. You know what I'm saying? If you sign one of those contracts, you're just a fool. But if you sign a contract with someone, they're going to expect a return.
Right.
They're not going to blow you up for no reason and just, oh, well, I just like you. You're a good person.
And then I think that's what happens too. So if you start asking these guys, like these artists, like, okay, if you didn't sign to this record label, right, what would you be doing? you're probably working at the factory in your hometown.
Exactly.
Or either selling drugs, or either, you know what I mean, not to be stereotypical, but you would be doing something.
Working in Walmart.
Oh, right. Well, you would be doing something to not be, you know what I mean, to have a nice house or have a nice car, or be this level of person, or be this celebrity. If, you know, if it wasn't for my contract, you know what I mean? So for this deal. So a lot of them, I think they think a lot different about themselves. Like they thinking like, oh, without Dom Vega management, I could have did all these things myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not like that. It'll be Dom Vega that's taking the chance on me when no one else would. And next thing you know, I'm trying. And now 15 years then pass, and I'm at Foot Locker. No disrespect to Foot Locker, but I'm at Foot Locker instead of taking the deal because I'm like,
I think, man, they have overinflated egos, and they think, well, you know, I would have been big with you or without you.
Right.
Let's keep it real, man. It takes a lot of money to push an artist.
A lot of money.
You know, you spending like $200,000-300,000 just for radio alone.
Right.
That's not counting of, you know what I'm saying? You doing a lot.
Right. People don't even know you got to pay for radio. People just think it's just free.
Well, you don't pay for radio.
Right. But people think you just make a hit, and then people want to hear it and they request it on the radio.
Come on, man.
Or it just gets placed on Apple Music on the new releases. It just gets placed there because you dropped the album.
Come on. I mean, those dudes that we're talking, they are CEOs.
Right.
They learn the business from the inside out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they bumped their heads a lot. And they spent a lot of money, and they, you know, lost a lot of money.
For sure.
So none of those dudes, you can't count any one of those guys out. We forgot about Aftermath and then Shady Records.
Oh, because they had a spinoff. And then even G-Unit.
Well, Aftermath didn't have a spinoff.
Yeah, Aftermath came from...
is a label.
Right, it is. It came after Death Row.
Shady is a subsidiary of
Aftermath. Right.
But Aftermath, you know what I'm saying? Even, you know, he had two of the biggest artists in the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Two of the biggest rap artists in the world. That's crazy. To have two?
Right. Well, he was signed to Shady.
Cool.
50.
Yeah, but...
was signed to Shady, and then Shady was signed to
Aftermath. You know,
right.
Under Aftermath.
Yeah.
And you know what's the crazy part? 50 is you know what's crazy? I know this has anything to do with CEOs, or he is a CEO.
Right, he is a CEO.
He is a CEO. But 50, his loyalty, he expects the same amount of loyalty he gives to you for you to give to him.
Right, and a lot of people don't do that.
Because you never heard him talk bad about Dr. Dre or...
Ever.
Or
and they never talk bad about him.
No, what's the point?
Right.
Listen,
no matter what is going on,
we're brothers.
Yep. No matter what's going on, you don't hear
without
about
them, there will be no him.
Right.
50 had momentum.
Right.
But the chemistry that they created together, is why 50 is where he is right now, and he understood that.
Right.
That's why when Yayo speaks high of 50, people say, "Oh, yo, man, he's a clown. Yayo this, Yayo that." No, Yayo is loyal.
100%. He's been down since day one.
Yayo's loyal. Yeah. It is.
I respect him for that.
I respect Yayo for that. Come on, man. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand loyalty.
Yeah. So what's the top 10 list? Let's count them. Let's go back into.
Russell Simmons is not in the top 10. He's the alpha.
Okay, so we got Russell Simmons.
So we're gonna put him at top.
Okay.
All right. Then, let's say Diddy.
Okay, Russell Simmons, Diddy.
Master P. Cash Money. Ruff Ryders. Uncle Luke.
Slip and Slide.
Jermaine Dupri.
So Def, Jermaine Dupri. Death Row. Suge Knight.
Yeah, Suge Knight.
Who else we missing?
Aftermath.
You said Aftermath.
RZA.
And the RZA, the Wu-Tang Clan.
RZA, and we got one more.
Who was the one more that was up there on the list?
Who's on the list?
Yeah, who else we have on the list? We missing one. We got so deep into the conversations.
Yeah. We missing one.
Russ, I'm trying to think of who we missing. Uncle Luke. I'm trying to go to all the areas. The RZA. Bad Boy.
Yeah, we said that. Oh, Loud Records.
Oh, okay. Steve Rifkin.
Steve Rifkin's.
Okay.
Loud Records.
Right.
Yeah. I forgot about
Loud Records had.
Loud Records had a lot of people.
They had a lot of people. They had Mobb Deep. It's too many. It's too many in there.
Yeah.
They had a lot of people. Yeah, Wu-Tang was even signed to them.
They had Diddly.
Heavy D?
No.
No, I was going to say Heavy D was signed to.
He was big like Heavy D.
Heavy D was from Motown.
He was down with Fat Joe.
Big Pun.
Big Pun.
Yeah, Big Pun was on Loud.
Yeah, Mobb Deep.
Yeah, Mobb Deep was on Loud.
Yeah, did he have...
M.O.P. was on Loud.
M.O.P. Loud Records was movement.
No, it was a lot. Yeah.
Loud Records, yo, you can't take them away, man.
Yeah.
Loud Records. And they had one of the best street promotions team.
Yeah.
One of the best street promotion teams was Loud.
That might have been the first street promotion team I ever saw. I didn't even know what that was until I saw like Loud Records.
I used to do
putting everywhere, tagging, you know what I mean?
Be on the side of the highway,
putting the posters in. That's when they start putting no bills posted. And I was like, what's no bills posted? But it mean, because Loud Records would tag everything up. So they start putting it, don't post,
you know how much
nothing
money
here.
they would find people?
Yeah.
I used to go on the West Side Highway, the Henry Hudson, get out the car and punk, posters all the way from 57th Street all the way up to West Side Highway. Posters. Then we would go on Harlem all the way down. Then Jamaica Avenue all the way down from 165 all the way down to like Suffolk.
Right. And it was a lot of money to print back then like that. Like to print all of that stuff
billboard.
out.
All the way. You would walk 20, 30, 40 blocks and you'll see nothing but the same artist.
Right.
We was we were doing our thing. But
I forgot about Steve Rifkin.
Yeah, Steve, you can't forget about him, man.
But that's the price of fame.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about fashion, art, music.
And entertainment.
CEO.
One.